popping, all right? All right, so anyways, my name is Joe Johnson. Welcome. Many people know me as Joe Johnson Speaks, and a lot of people call me Dr. Joe Johnson. I'm excited. A lot of people know me from talking about purpose, identity, transition. But tonight, which is very specific to your purpose, we're talking about purposeful goal setting. There's so many of us that have made New Year's resolutions year after year after year, and we know so many people that do this. They make them January 1st, come January 15th, January 31st or 30th, it's over. They're done pressing for those New Year's resolutions. So we don't want to talk about resolutions. We want to talk tonight specifically about purposeful goal setting, and I'm going to walk you through a process to actually write down your first and second quarter goals, okay? Let's get this thing rocking. So one of the first things I want to acknowledge is this. We know that there are many individuals that are operating out of fear because it's funny that we've been programmed to believe certain things about ourselves and about our capability, and I think it's important for us to recognize that. And many of us, we've lost a lot of faith in ourselves. Right? Because we've been programmed to say you can only do this, or we've been programmed to think that this is who we are. But I'm here to tell you right now that we operate out of fear often. And many times when we're operating out of a fear mindset, we think small. And when we think small, we act small. And guess what? More importantly, when we think that way, we begin to set small ass goals. Extremely small goals that are aligned with our current situation that we're trying to get out of. Okay? So now, one of the things that you need to understand is this. It starts first with recognizing that you never want to operate out of a fear mindset when you're beginning to write down some of your goals. You never want to operate out of a fear mindset. And operating out of a fear mindset means you are going to write some goals down that you probably wrote down before in the past couple of years, and you didn't do anything to reach them. And it's not that you didn't have the skills, and it's not that you weren't great enough to actually accomplish those things, but when you write goals down and you begin to put things down based from a fear mindset or a deficit model, you begin to stay stagnant. So right now, it's important for you to understand, I cannot write down my goals dealing with the fear mindset that might be in my head. I need you to write that down. Fear mindset. Fear mindset. Write that down right now. I don't want to operate out of a fear mindset, okay? It's extremely important. What you got to understand is this. When you're operating from there, you continue to do things small. Like I said, when you think small, you act small. When you think small, you act small. And when you have a fear mindset, we're naturally going to do things that are extremely small. When you begin, you got to understand, you shouldn't write a goal down that isn't extremely big. I know so often you've heard about SMART goals. You've heard about writing down goals that are attainable. Look here, I want your vision to be extremely big. I want your vision to be extremely big. However, I also want it to be something that you can see in the near 60 to 120 days. That's what I want you to focus on, the next 60 to 120 days. That's the first and second quarter. So what we're going to do really quickly, because one of the things I need you to understand is this. If you ever paid attention to young kids, I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, but if you ever paid attention to young kids, especially toddlers, they're trying to climb on things. They're trying to grab things, even if it's too high. They're trying to figure out a way to do certain things that in reality, they should not be able to do. But it's something about their mindset. What I realize is it's something about a toddler's mindset or a young kid's mindset that they are fearless. And they're obsessed with reaching their goal. Whatever it is that they're trying to get, whatever it is they're trying to pull down, open the fridge, whatever it is that they're trying to do, they are obsessed with that goal, and there is no fear. By any means necessary, they're going to accomplish their goal. This is the mindset that we need to have as grown-ass adults. Yes, I said it. We are grown-ass adults. Matter of fact, write that down. Grown-ass adult. You are not a child anymore. However, it's something about the developmental process as we get older that we lose our ability to think like a toddler. Many of us say, well, we need to grow up and mature. Yes, we need to do that, but there's some things that we need to take from toddlers to implement into this process, and guess what? We're about to do that tonight. So let's get this thing rocking. Look here, if you're just tuning in, this is Joe Johnson. Many people call me Joe Johnson Speaks. A lot of people call me Dr. Joe Johnson. We're talking specifically about purposeful goals and setting ourselves up for the first and second quarter of 2017. We're not talking about New Year's resolutions. We don't want to do resolutions. We want purposeful goals. And I know you're ready for your first and second quarter, okay? Look here. Before we start this specifically, what I need you to do is this. I need you to go to www.purpose2017 when we're done with this. But make sure you go there because I want you to get involved with this pop movement. You'll get access to so many resources, so many different things that I'm going to give away to help you and keep you moving towards your goals, okay? So make sure you go to www.purpose2017, get involved with this pop movement because it's so important for you to stay pushing towards those goals that we're getting ready to set. So one of the first things I want to show you is this. I created a couple of forms, and you're going to get this when you go to www.purpose2017. So I created this form here. I want you to see it up close. And if you can see this sheet here, it says areas of my life I need to strengthen. Okay? So one of the first things I want you to understand is this. As we walk through this process is that you never want to set a goal. You never want to set a future goal until you reassess where you are right now. You want to reassess where you are right now. So what that means is you want to look at 2016. You want to figure out, where am I? And so if you look at this sheet that you'll get once you go to purpose2017.com, you'll get this. It says areas of my life I need to strengthen. But what you also see, if you can see that, let me get it close to the camera. You can see that there are some numbers there. I have personal goals and I have business or career, but there's some numbers there. Okay? So what I want you to do, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds if you can. And this is going to be quick, but you'll have time to do this at a slower rate. What I want you to do is I want you to think about some of the things that you said you would do in 2016. I want you to think about some of the things that you believe that you need to strengthen in your life. I need you to think about some of the personal areas that you need to strengthen, and I need you to think about your business or your career. What are some areas that you need to strengthen? But also, once again, I want you to think about some of the goals that you set. Now, it's up to you to write down on this sheet. Once again, I'm going to show you areas of my life I need to strengthen, and you're going to rate these from 1 to 10. Areas of my life that I need to strengthen. So I want you to think about your personal areas that you're about to write down, and you're also going to talk about your business or your career goals that you said you were going to do in 2016, or some areas that you know you need to strengthen or work on. And when I talk about reassessment, I want you to write 2 to 3 of those down. Actually, 1 to 3. Okay, 1 to 3. Some of us might not have 3, or we'll think about 1 right now and 2 later on, whatever it may be. But I need you to write 1 to 3 of those down for your personal, and 1 to 3 for your business or career. These are some areas that you know you need to strengthen. And what I need you to do is rate that from 1 to 10. 10 being the best, maybe you accomplished it or you're great at it. 1, not so good. So that's the first thing I need you to do, because we always want to assess where we are before we begin to implement some new goals for our future. So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds, and I'm going to hold this up to the screen. Matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can put this on Facebook right now just to see if you all will be able to download it while we're here working. I think that'd be the best thing for everybody. Okay? So I hope you're writing those down. I hope you're writing those down right now. Now I'm going to see if I can put this form in Facebook as we speak, because I think it's important for you to be able to see this. Now, once again, for those of you who are just tuning in, we're talking about purposeful goals. Our first and second quarter of 2017. My name is Joe Johnson. Many people call me Joe Johnson Speaks. A lot of people call me Dr. Johnson. We're not talking resolutions right now. We're talking specific, purposeful goals for our first and second quarter. So I hope you all are tuning in. I don't know if I'll be able to get that to you all right now, but that's okay. But let's keep this thing rocking. So what you're doing first is you're assessing, okay? You're assessing where you are. You're assessing where you are in this process. And right now, we're looking at areas of your life that you need to strengthen. And you want to rate those from 1 to 10. 10 being the best, or maybe you accomplished it, One being you definitely need to work on that. So you need to rate where you are. Once again, before we move on, before you do anything, before you create any goals, purposeful goals for your future, you need to assess where you are and give it a number. Because when you give things a number, it helps you to really go step by step and see how you progress through your time trying to reach specific goals. If you don't have a number there, it's kind of like you're just floating. So you want to be able to assess. You want to say, well, I'm a 3 here, and maybe a month from now you say, you know what, I did pretty good here, and so now I'm about a 6. But you want to be able to assess everything. And right now we're reassessing where we are in some of those goals that we think we set in 2016, or some of the areas that we know we need to strengthen. Okay, so I hope you are following me here. And once again, you'll be able to get this. I'll make sure to send you this sheet when you go to www.purpose2017.com. I want to make sure that you're able to see everything that we're doing, okay? So let's move forward. So after you assess, I want you to understand the process that you're learning tonight. After you assess where you are and you give yourself a number, after you write down 1 to 3 personal and 1 to 3 business or career areas that you want to strengthen, I'm going to tell you about the process before we get going, okay? So the process is very simple. The process that we created here for these purposeful goal setting for our first and second quarter is very easy. So what we're going to do, we're going to set a goal. If you're writing, write this stuff down. We're going to set a goal, okay? We're going to set 1 to 3 goals for our first quarter, 1 to 3 goals for our second quarter, but we're going to do 1 to 3 goals for our personal lives and 1 to 3 goals for our business or career. When we talk about personal lives, I'm talking about things like maybe I want to get to the gym more. Maybe I want to lose a certain amount of weight. Maybe I want to pray more. Maybe I want to tap more into meditation or my spirituality. It's some personal goals for you. Maybe it's you want to make sure that one of your relationships is a little bit stronger. Those are some of the personal areas that I'm talking about. And it's whatever you feel like is personal to you. Now, when we talk about business or career, we're talking about things very specific. So if you own your own business, maybe you say, I want to have this amount of sales by this time. I want to have this amount of followers by this time. This many people on my email list. I want to have a timeline set up to when I'm going to switch my career. Those are some of the things that I'm talking about when it comes to business or career. So I want them to be your goals are specific to you. So we're setting goals. I'm telling you about the process. We're setting goals first. That's the first thing that we're doing. And those goals include personal, or they're personal, 1 to 3 personal goals, and 1 to 3 business / career goals, okay? And then the next part of that is because this is what people do often. People usually set a goal. This is how resolutions, they just fall to the wayside. Usually people set a goal or set a resolution, and they just say, this is what I want, and that's it. That's it. The difference between resolutions and purposeful goal setting is this. There's some specific directions that we're going into to reach our final output. Okay, so what that means is, number 1, we're setting that goal. Number 2, what we're doing is we're going to say by when. By when. And what that means is we have our goal, and for each goal, we're going to say, I want this by February 14th, or I want this by May 1st, or I want this by, we're setting specific times for that goal to be accomplished. We're not just saying we want this goal and that's it. We're saying specific time, this is the goal, and then we're saying specific times that we want that goal to be accomplished, okay? For those of you just tuning in, we're talking about purposeful goal setting. My name is Joe Johnson. Many people call me Joe Johnson Speaks. A lot of people call me Dr. Joe Johnson. If you're here and you're loving this right now, I need you to put like. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Understand the Facebook algorithm. We want as many people here because we know it's going to be millions of people talking about their New Year's resolution. We want them setting purposeful goals. So make sure you're hitting the like button, like, share, thumbs up, whatever it may be. We want to get as many people here, okay? So we're talking about purposeful goal setting. Number 1 is setting the goal. Number 2, very simple, by when. Specifically, I want this goal completed by whatever date you set. You could even give it a time. You could say February 1st by 5 p.m. This goal needs to be accomplished, okay? So number 1 is we're setting the specific goal for our personal and our business or career. Number 2 is you need to put down by when, a specific date and time. Okay, I hope you all are following me. Number 3, See, we're getting very specific on how we're creating this. Number three is we are going to write down. Okay, I'm gonna go back from the beginning. Set the goal. By when, very specific, date and time. Number three, very simple. By doing what? By doing what? What are the action steps? What are you specifically gonna do to make sure that you're reaching this goal? You need to be specific. Very specific. What are you going to do specific to get to that goal? So that means you're writing everything down that you're going to do that's very specific to this goal. That doesn't mean you're going to say the goal, by when, and then it's whatever. But you're going to say, this is what I'm going to do specifically to get to this goal. So once again, we have the goal that we set. We put by when, specific date and time. And then we said, these are the action steps that I'm going to take in order for me to reach this goal. Very important. Very important. Now it gets even deeper than that. It gets even deeper because the fourth step in this is very critical. So many people miss out on this fourth step. And the fourth step is very simple. This is number 4. You ready? You ready? I know you're ready. All right, so number 4 is this. Number 4 is you are scheduling your action steps. You are scheduling your action steps daily. You're going to say either I'm going to do this weekly. I don't even want to talk about what you're going to do monthly because if we're focusing on the first and second quarter, you're going to have to do some things daily and weekly in order to accomplish your purposeful goals. So what I want you to do, the fourth step is this. After you talk about what you're going to do, the action steps, you're going to schedule those action steps in a calendar, in a planner, wherever you can see them every single day. You're going to schedule these actions that you would do. So what that means is, if you go to my calendar, you'll see Monday from 8 to 10, I'm working on this. From 10 to 11, I'm working on this. From 11 to 1, I'm working on this. I'm done by this time. That's how specific it is. You can even break it down in minutes. You can say, hey, for 10 minutes, I want to work on this. For 60 minutes, I want to work on this. But you need to schedule all of your action steps that you said you're going to do to get to that goal daily. Daily. They need to be in your calendar. You need to see exactly what you need to be doing each day and give it a certain amount of time, and you need to stick to it. So once again, I'm going to go through these again. For those of you just tuning in, we are talking about purposeful goal setting. We're not talking about New Year's resolutions. We're talking about making sure our 2017 first quarter and second quarter is on point. Okay? So I'm going to walk through these again so you all understand them. Number 1, we're writing down our goals. Our goals that are specific to 2017 or whatever year is coming up. If you're listening to this later on in life, we're writing down our goals specific to the first and second quarter of this upcoming year. And those are 1 to 3 personal goals for your first quarter and 1 to 3 business or career goals for your first quarter. But you're also doing the same thing for your second quarter. Okay? So if you did 3, you'll have a total of 3, 6, 9, 12 goals that you are trying to reach. Now, for those of you who are kind of slow in regards to needing to really work slow and you don't want to have a whole lot on your plate, just start with the first quarter. That's okay. Just start with the first quarter. But you need to go through this process. So number 1 is writing down those goals. Okay? It's personal goals, business, and career goals. Also, the next step is you need to make sure you write down by when do you want to accomplish that goal. Not only a date, but set a time. Say you want this date, February 19th by 12 p.m., by 12 noon. Set specific times that you're reaching for, okay? Also, you want to write down what are you going to be doing to make sure that you reach those goals? What are your action steps? You need to write that down. And I'm going to give you some resources to really help you go through the flow and follow that at purpose2017.com. So make sure you're tuning in. But then the last step is you need to schedule all of your action steps. Everything that you said you're going to do to accomplish that goal, I need you to schedule it in a planner. And that means you're talking daily scheduling. You can do it on Sunday evening to say, hey, this is what I'm doing for the week. These are all of my action steps for the goals that I set for myself for the first quarter of this upcoming year or the second quarter of this upcoming year. Make sure that you do this, because if you don't, you're going to do what so many people do in regards to their resolutions. They say, this is my New Year's resolution, and then they disappear. and then they disappear. So I hope you are really enjoying this. There's some information that I'm going to send you some a resource actually, a guide to help you walk you through this process. For those of you just tuning in, once again, this is Joe Johnson. Many people call me Joe Johnson Speaks. A lot of people call me Dr. Johnson. And I know that you are getting ready for 2017. I know you're excited. I know you can't wait to write down your first and second quarter goals. And I'm telling you right now, if you've never done this, it's going to create so much productivity in your life, so much efficiency in your life. It's going to get you on that journey towards your purpose. And you're going to feel so much more accomplished in your first and second quarter, because I promise, this is how I know I did the right thing when I wrote down my goals last year. Is because the income that I have around the holidays right now is better than what it was last year. It's extremely better than it was last year. Last year was a little rough. That was my first year of being a full-out entrepreneur, and I didn't do some things correctly. But trust me, when you do this, you will feel it towards the end of the year, because a lot of times at the end of the year, people are feeling it. They have a hard time around the holidays. They're struggling. It's the end of the year. They pay rent, their bills, and then they don't really have a lot left. I'm here to tell you right now, we don't want that feeling in our lives. You don't want that feeling. You want to set yourself up for a magnificent upcoming year. And the way to do that is to get off on a good start by writing your goals down and following this plan. I need you to follow this plan. It's so important for you. So what I'm about to do really quickly, what I'm about to do is this. I see somebody writing me right now. Let me see what they're saying. What I'm about to do is this. It's important right now for you to... Oh, that was my mom. I'm sorry, y'all. That was my mom. If your mom writing you got to make sure to check it out. But she was writing me on Facebook. But okay, she was just sending me a link. Okay. But anyways, that's mom. So I got to make sure I got to tune in. But anyways, y'all, I'm getting ready to send you this resource. So if you go to www.purpose2017.com, not only am I going to send you this, but I have an extra free gift for you that you'll be extremely happy about. I promise you're going to love it. It's going to help you in regards to you planning your goals, but it's really going to help you in your life and just thinking about your purpose. Okay? So anyways, we've been talking about purposeful goals, getting ourselves ready for the first and second quarter of this upcoming year. And I hope that you go through this process. Once again, I'm going to say it one more time before we close out. The first thing that you need to do is I'm going to start all the way from the beginning. You need to reassess where you are. Okay, that's one. Reassess where you are. Reassess where you are compared to this past year. Okay, because you want to see what are some areas that you need to strengthen and rate them from numbers 1 through 10. Okay, that's one. Now 1A is you want to write down those goals, those personal and business and career goals for your first and second quarter. You want to write down 1 to 3 of those goals for the first and second quarter of this upcoming year. Number 2 is you want to write down when for each goal you want to have a specific date and time that you want to accomplish that goal. Number 3, you want to write down the what. What will you be doing? What are the action steps that you would take to reach that goal? And number 4, which a lot of people miss, is you want to schedule every single thing that you said you're going to do to accomplish that goal, and you need to stick to that schedule. What's going to be most important when it comes to this purposeful goal setting is your consistency. And what you have to realize is this. I'm giving you this information because I believe in you. I believe you're ready. I believe that it's time for you to come up out of that shell. I believe that it's time for you to manifest what's here for you. I believe that it's time for you to break out. Have that breakthrough. But it starts with you doing some of the small things, and writing down your goals is some of the small things that it's going to take in order for you to truly think, act, and live purposefully. So once again, y'all, I thank you so much for tuning in. Go to www.purpose2017.com to get these resources, get this free gift. You will have it first thing in the morning, but if you want to start right now, just hit me up and say, hey, I want it right now, and I'll make sure that you have it. Go to www.purpose2017.com. Today, we went through purposeful goal setting, making sure we're setting ourselves up for the first and second quarter of this upcoming year. I thank y'all so much for tuning in. Like I always say, pursue your purpose, not your dreams. My name is Joe Johnson. Many people call me Joe Johnson Speaks, but a lot of people call me Dr. Joe Johnson. Y'all take care. It's time for me to go out for my last time here in Florida. Holla.